So did 2022 suck for anybody else or was it just me? Because I had all this shit planned. I made a whole video about it, all the shit that I was going to do, how I was going to do it. And then I did none of it. I was tired all the time. I was busy all the time. And shit was just rough, right? But I did still do a lot, just not exactly what I had planned on doing. Let's talk about it. So at the start of 2022, I made a video about my goals and what I wanted to achieve. And I don't think I accomplished a single one. I sort of know why. I don't 100% know why, but I sort of know why. I started a new job at the end of 2021, started kind of coming into my role in 2022, right? That's stressful. There's a lot to do. I'm busy with my job all day. Harder to do the side stuff, which is Twitch, YouTube, etc. I also made a pretty big move in 2022. About halfway through the year, I moved to a new state, not a new state, but I did move states about 4 hours away from where I was living. It wasn't just like a move in my city. It was a big jump for me and it's been great. We're here. Rory and I love it. We have tons of fun. I have friends here. But a move is stressful no matter what, especially one this big or obviously bigger. So there's that. And then of course there was the fact that earlier this year, I did switch from streaming on Twitch to streaming on YouTube. Now it's still streaming, of course, but there are different aspects to it that make it a little bit different. And for me, made it a little bit more difficult and led to me just recently going back to Twitch. So while I didn't accomplish the goals that I set out to this year, I don't consider this year a complete failure or a complete loss. It sucked, but I learned a lot and I am excited to put what I learned into what I can accomplish in 2023. So learning lesson number 1, YouTube streaming, not for me. Already put that into effect. Done. Check it out. Look, I've accomplished a goal and the year hasn't even started. Crazy. So while I did not accomplish all of the goals that I set forth for myself in 2022, I don't think I accomplished any of them. That's not to say I failed. I don't consider myself a failure about this. I survived some of the worst mental health episodes of my life. I tried new things and I learned a lot. And so I want to talk about those things that I have learned. First off, YouTube live streaming is not for me. It just isn't. It works really well for some people. I am not one of those people. So I made a change. I learned this year, mostly because I missed it so much because I wasn't doing it as much. I learned that I love creating content, making videos, writing blogs, streaming, all of this. I love it so much. But if I do not have designated time for it, I'm not going to do it. That's just something that I learned about myself this year. With that in mind, I also learned that I need routines. If I don't have a routine or if I don't have a plan for the day, I am kind of going to sit here just in a blank state, unable to decide what to do. And so I have to set up these routines and schedules and know exactly what I'm working on. And obviously it's not always going to go according to plan, but having that outline for myself helps me know basically what to do next. Instead of having to choose from a super long list, it's written down for me. It's done. It's great. With scheduling time and routines in mind, I also really want to set aside more time to explore where I live. So I live in a beautiful historic city near the beach, and I have not gotten around as much as I would like to. There are so many great sights to see. There are beautiful parks. There are places I want to take Rory on walks. And I also want to keep taking him to the beach, even though he hates it, because maybe he'll get used to it if I take him enough, right? So I want to set aside that time, again, designating time to make sure I can explore this city that I live in. Next thing I learned about myself this year, I guess it's something that I've always known, but it is something that I want to make a more active approach, is I want to travel more. I want to see the world. Beyond just experiencing my city, I want to experience cities all over. I want to see how other people live their lives and learn how things work in other places. So here are my goals for 2023. I am sharing them with you guys to hold myself accountable. And after we go through the goals, I'm going to talk about my plan That's what I was missing last year. And that's something that I need to make sure that I can actually accomplish these. Starting off with my content, specifically streaming. I've already sort of started this. I am returning to Twitch and working to regrow my community. For me, what that means right now is to, by the end of 2023, have at least 1,000 followers on the platform and 15 concurrent subscribers. Those are my goals for Twitch. Keeping in line with my content, I also have a goal to be more consistent. I want to be able to put out more content, whether it's streams, videos, or blogs, but I also want to put out more art. I really dedicated myself to my art recently, and I love sharing that with the world and being able to take on commissions. And so those are all things that I want to be more consistent about. That's something that I'm focusing on more in 2023. In addition to being more consistent, I really want to do better about balancing my online and my offline time. This year, I think I spent more time online than I honestly ever have, but it wasn't productive online time. It was just mindless scrolling, doom scrolling, absolute nonsense that didn't help me, and I wasn't really contributing anything to anybody else either. So my goal this year is to balance that time. I want to spend more time exploring my city. I want to spend more time exploring the world. And I'm also planning a move potentially to South Korea. All of that to say, I just need to make that balance so I know who I am, so I can put that forth when I am online as well. This last one might sound silly to actually be a goal, but I want to plan more. I'm setting up a plan for these goals, and I also want to set up basically a plan for everything that I want to accomplish. Just plan, plan, plan. What I learned about myself this year is that if I don't have a plan, I'm not going to do anything. And so in order to accomplish the things that I want to do, I have to have a plan. I am considering this my main goal this year because if I can make a plan, stick with it, and adjust it as needed and go through with it, everything else should fall into place. Everything else is going to be aligned with that. So that's the number one goal to help facilitate everything else in 2023, planning. Now, speaking of planning, how am I going to accomplish these things? I've already started putting some of these into the works. Basically the planning, I just recently started using a program online called ClickUp. I think it's usually for like project management for like businesses, but sometimes you got to run your life like a business to make sure you get all the shit done and you still have time to rest. So in ClickUp, I am making sure that I have set aside specific time for the things that I want to accomplish. So I have time for working on my stream. I have time for working on my art. I have time for exploring my city, going on hikes, visiting my friends, and traveling. I already have that set up in my ClickUp. And so they're tasks, they're just going to show up on when those due dates are. And I take a look every single week on Sundays. I take a look, see what I have coming up for the week, and plan that out. So step one, done. I also am going to get back into using a planner. I used to be I was that crazy planner girl that you went to college with. I had the big planner, I had the colored markers, and while I'm not going to go quite that deep into it, I do have a digital planner on my iPad that I am going to use to help facilitate this planning method. So using ClickUp and the planner are going to help me get everything done. The biggest part of all of this is just setting aside time in that planner on my calendar and then also in ClickUp to make sure that I have time to accomplish what I want to. Because if I don't set aside the time, I'm never going to get to it. The other big thing for me, going back to my content, which specifically this year I was very bad at canceling streams. If I just didn't feel good or if something else popped up, I would just cancel stream. And in 2023, I can't say I'll never cancel a stream. I don't know what's going to happen, but my goal is to just hit go live. It might not be the best stream I've ever given. It might not even be a long stream. Maybe I pop on and chat for 10 or 15 minutes and then decide, no, I can't do this. And that's fine. My goal in 2023 is to just hit go live. If I have a scheduled stream, I'm going to try to stick to it. So that's one of the ways that I am going to help grow my community and just be more consistent in creating content. So yeah, that is my plan for how I am going to accomplish everything that I've set for myself this year. The biggest thing is going to be for me to actually stick to that plan and keep adjusting it as necessary. These goals are a little bit different than the ones that I set for myself last year, but I think they do a better job of demonstrating exactly who I am and who I want to be versus who other people or who I think other people want me to be. In 2023, I will be turning 31, and I am going to be striving to be the most authentically, unapologetically me that I can be. Fuck expectations. Fuck who everybody else wants you to be. I'm going to be me. And I hope that you guys can work on being yourselves as well. This is my rotary tax. I know that's why you're actually here. He's very cute. Yes, thank you. Very good boy. Say hello to your adoring fans. Guess not. I hope you like my video. I mostly put this out here just so I can hold myself accountable, and I have this public facing forum. But if you did like it, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. I plan on putting out some self-care gaming videos this year, as well as some tutorials on my planning methods as the year goes on. So I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video.